Hey, it's Nikki. I just want to say thank you for listening to this Trainer Spotlight episode. Let's not waste any time and get right into it. Coach, what's going on? Can you tell us a little bit about who you are?
Hey, what's going on? My name is George Pagan III. I was born and raised in Orange County, New York. I did 5 years of college at Westfield State in Massachusetts because I transferred from a business major to a sports medicine exercise science about midway through, and I wasn't the best student. I've been a trainer for pretty much every day since leaving college. Although my first jobs after leaving school and getting my CSES were not in gyms, I had student loans, so I had to start, paying them off pretty quickly. And I started mowing some lawns. Worked the sunrise shift at a warehouse and did some retail work because I had some experience working in retail every time I would come home from school after the summers. I really didn't know what part of the industry I wanted to work in or go back to school, but I needed some experience, so I started working for three part-time jobs. I was a physical therapist aide in one. I worked in a one-on-one boutique studio, and then I worked one day a week every Sunday morning at a regional health club teaching a fitness class that I had to create. But long story short, I left all of that, went to an unpaid internship at Florida Atlantic University, and then eventually moved down to Miami after this internship with my now wife, Nikki. We've been down here since 2012, and outside of maybe the first year, I've been working for myself. That first year, I was a trainer and managed some health spas in condo facilities. I started training clients typically in their condo gyms, traveled to their homes, and even paid to train clients in a private gym that was not mine. But in 2023, I opened my very first headquarters and after leasing my first space, and I'm loving it. I'm loving where this journey has taken me through all its ups and downs, and it's a wild ride, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
It's great getting to know you as a coach, but you're not a coach 24/7. So, can you tell me a funny or interesting story about yourself that happened either in your practice as a coach or in your normal life outside of coaching?
So I think this is a funny story from back in 2012. I'm gonna name everybody in the beginning, but my parents, George and Teresa, my now wife Nikki, my brother-in-law Chris, my sister's best friend Marissa, and my sister Nicole all went on a family vacation to Jamaica. We stayed at one of those all-inclusive resorts that's on the beach, beautiful place. We went on a couple local excursions and just relaxed around the resort. And we had a good time together. We like to have a good time together. My sister and I will always talk and make friends with strangers on every vacation. Sometimes not on purpose. It just tends to happen before we know it. When now we're friends with strangers, and we're kind of known for doing it. And we like to have a good time. So if we're stuck together and we see a stranger, we like to have a good laugh. Maybe start a little practical joke here and there. So this one night, my whole family is drinking. We're having a good time, and we decide to go to the dance club on the resort. None of us can dance particularly well. Probably my wife is the best dancer out of all of us, but I can't dance for the life of me. But we're having a great time, and I'm moving my feet rhythmically on the floor with everybody else, I would say. We're drinking. Some people start working their way over to our group during the night. The music is really loud and no one can really hear each other talking. You know how it is. You have to get really close to somebody's ear and kind of yell into it for everyone to understand what you're saying. So this one guy wanders over and starts getting into our group, says hello, and I don't know who started doing it. I'm gonna assume it was either myself or my sister, but we all started to make believe that we didn't speak or understand a lot of English. We had really broken English speech, and we made up this other language. It's kind of plausible at one of these resorts because it's international, so there are people from all over the place that are going to this thing. But it starts out, and what makes it funny is all of us speak English. None of us speak a second language at all, but we collectively as a group started to one-on-one speak to each other and to this random dude in this made-up language with some broken English. we would do things like mumble to each other and then turn to him and laugh, or try to translate things we said to him. We would ask him questions and just wait for him to respond, knowing we didn't really say anything. But we couldn't hear us or understand us at all because it was a fake language and really loud. But we did this the entire night collectively as a group. And the next day at breakfast, we saw him and started to speak in this makeup language again. But we quickly transitioned to perfect English, and he laughed so hard with us. He told us that we got him really good, and he was actually a good sport about it. So we laughed collectively, and we still laugh about it today as a group.
What strategies do you use to attract and retain clients in your personal training business? I think we can all learn from each other here, and we'll probably find some answers to be quite similar to one another. But I'm really interested to hear what strategies and things you use to get new clients and keep the ones you currently have.
I think for me is all it's all about referrals, 100%. Whereas like 95% of my business is or new business is coming from referrals. I 100% put all of my energy into getting new referrals from current clients, previous clients, and even other trainers that I work with. Some of the first clients that I worked with when I went out on my own were from a referral from a trainer, a friend of mine that is also a trainer that either could not at the time fit them in their schedule, or they weren't a right fit for each other. And I'm not even joking with you. I've had that group of clients. I've had referrals from them also, but I've worked with um, almost every single member of the family through this referral, and I've had them as clients for about 10 years. So referrals for me is huge. I would say outside of that, it is definitely maintaining, updating my Google business page, which has links to my website, my hours, has photos, all of the stuff that you really have to have as being like necessary for people to find things about you. I mean, just like you would for a restaurant, you go onto there, try to find out some information, look at the menu items, and look at the food options that are available. I think it's I think having a Google business page as a personal trainer is just as important. And I would say if not for that, I wouldn't have had even the last two clients that have not come from referrals. They both referenced the reviews from the Google business page and the fact that I had it updated and links worked from it. So just the kind of hitting all of those little table stakes that you need to that a lot of people unfortunately overlook, like having broken links and things not working. But 100%, I would say you need to be getting more referrals from people. And if you're providing a good service, I think getting referrals is the easy part.
Let's say you get a new client. What's your process for assessing their fitness level, addressing their goals, and other things they express as being important? We all have different methods and can learn a lot from each other. Let's open the door and share some of our secrets.
So this has changed quite a bit over the years because I think when after leaving college and getting my first job as a trainer, the way that I was taught was pretty rigid. It was more like take actual assessments, body measurements, body fat percentages, joint ranges of motion, take them through a formal movement assessment and give them a score, tell them about the score. And I found that it made people uncomfortable. So when I ended up coming out on my own, I had to find my own way of like what actually fit for me to get clients to feel comfortable around me, especially if people don't know me and they were not referrals, if they're new leads coming from, let's say, Google business page, and I'm really just meeting a stranger and I have to kind of get to know them. So I really focused on becoming a good listener. Now I do have a structure that I like to follow, and that's really being kind of informal in the beginning. Is general introductions, um, getting into the workout right away on the floor, not doing a whole lot of talking. Uh, Taking some assessments visually by some very basic movements, like having them do some squats, doing some plank walkouts, some lunges, watching some jumping jacks, and things like that. They're really basic movements. And then about halfway after I ask them some more questions, and again, just listen to a lot of their answers, trying to find out what they need or what they want. Maybe I'll show them an exercise that really is specific to an issue that they have had or they brought up. And then after that exercise, we typically take a little bit of a rest, talk a little bit about business, talk a little bit about the billing and all of the other details that go on behind the scenes of all the kind of that administrative stuff that needs to take place for them to sign up as a client. And then without asking for the sale directly right there, we go back into working out. So they have some workout, some information, and then back into working out. And again, I start asking some more questions, looking for some more information from them. And then at the end of that, I ask if they want to sign up or when they would like to sign up. But it's really kind of informal, low pressure situation, and I don't try to drive home hard sales. And I think that's important because a lot of times really people are looking to feel comfortable around the person that they really consider to be their trainer. They've already made the hard step of coming in, and really it's just our job not to push them away.
George is a huge fan of continuing education, and he is building FITLETE to give trainers more efficient access to education that solves their clients' problems. We all look at problem solving differently, and taking different courses, obtaining certifications, and going to new conferences can help us learn from one another. How do you continually develop your skill set as a trainer?
Yeah, I like education already, but I have my CSES. That's my main certification that I keep up with and renew on a what is it a, whatever a cyclical basis they have every 3 years. Then I really into learning from short courses that don't produce actual certifications, but short courses that are really topic specific. I will pick up books about training methods and training methodologies. I still have some of the very first ones that I got after graduating from, I think it was Mike Boyle's Functional Strength Coach book. I still have the NSCA Strength Conditioning study book. I have a bunch of others that I actually keep them on the bookshelf in my facility. So short courses, uh, books about training methodologies. I used to dive into a lot of different research papers. Now I don't particularly have a lot of time to do that. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. And I think most important for me is I have been going every year to multiple live events that I've learned from either the presentations that we're seeing on stage or just talking with people in the audience that are going there with me. And I think it's one of the more underrated ways to gain access to specific knowledge that we can share amongst each other as coaches. Uh, because some of the things that I have talked about at the socials or in between the talks with people have absolutely changed my perspective on how I train certain people, certain areas where I need to really improve, and even I've talked through things that I wasn't really sure about with training to get another person's perspective. And that happens with like minded people at these events. And it's been like an absolute game changer in my development as a coach. So, for sure, I would say definitely you have to attend some more of these live events that are occurring. But then again, take short courses that are really topic specific. You don't need a lot of the specialty certification that are really long. Some of the ones that are available now have improved quite a bit, but a lot of the old ones that I really haven't kept track of the ones I've taken, a lot of the old ones were more a waste of time. Unfortunately, they had a couple of good module pieces that were really, really, I guess, important, but the overall certifications were not that wonderful. But definitely continue to find different ways to learn through podcasts, live events, read books. I think it's really underrated. Read books offline and take some online courses that are really specific. More specific, the better, so you can have more deep understanding and deep knowledge learning when you finally finish the course. I think some of the general courses are need a little bit of work.
The fitness industry is rapidly evolving before our eyes. How do you envision your personal training business evolving with it in the next few years? I'm really excited to hear what you have to say about this because you have to plan for the future and a future that you want for your business.
I think for me, this is a pretty simple answer is I'm 100% all in on personal training. I love it. It's where I know that I am the best, and I don't think that I'm going to do less of it in the future. I fully comfortable working the hours that I work. I enjoy working directly with people. I know that there is a limit into how many people I can see per week, but I still want to evolve my business with personal training being at the root of what I do. So I think if I'm looking at my time cap for the week, the other side I want to go into a little bit more is more of a hybrid role of personal training where I work with local people in Miami area more on a part-time basis. So I'll be doing, the online program development, the coaching remotely, and then they have the ability to book individualized sessions with me on, let's say, a monthly basis rather than a weekly or daily basis, which is like what my most of my in-person clients do now. So again, fully in on the personal training side of it, and I don't think I'm going to do any less of that. But I understand that there are limitations, so working into a little bit more online stuff. I want to get some of my programs that I have available onto my online store and maybe get some of them working with more remote clients. But again, I really am into the personal side. I don't like putting out cookie cutter programs for people to follow because I don't find them to be as effective, and there's a lot more fall off and lack of compliance with people who are just working on programs without actual coaching. So I think coaching is important, and I'm really doubling down hard on it.
I know challenges are all over the place in the fitness industry and personal training. Information is available in different formats. Clients are more easily misled by gurus and charlatans. Social media's influence is becoming more ingrained into people's lives. And now we have AI. What do you think are some of the biggest challenges currently facing the fitness and personal training industry?
There are so many things that I think need improved in the industry, but I think we're plagued by two things, and it's been something that has been an absolute bother to me for years and only got worse as social media has grown. I think we're plagued by just absolute ridiculous dogmatism between sectors of the industry, the fact that we, and the second one is the fact that we argue with each other over the most ridiculous things, even though we're most of the time saying the same thing, just using some different vocabulary. So we get lost in these really weird semantic arguments that really confuse clients. They come to me, when I get a new client saying that they've tried this, tried that, nothing works. I've tried everything. I don't know what to do anymore because this is bad, but it used to be good. And it's just so frustrating to have to deal with trying to navigate working with new people and also just existing in the industry where people who are professionals or say that they are professionals and then just argue amongst each other, and it just makes us all look really bad and kind of stupid. Yeah, I think those are two of the biggest things that we need to improve upon. Dogmatism, saying that you have the answers and your thing is the only thing that works and nothing else works, or I'm right and you're wrong, I'm big, you're small. That whole thing from the Matilda movie. But yeah, dogmatism and one without a doubt, just arguing in public about the most useless stuff, sometimes just for attention, and it's really frustrating.
George, thank you so much for coming on and sharing some great info about yourself and how you help the people you work with. George and I actually met in college back in 2008, being in the same major, and we became friends while working on group projects and presentations, and the rest is history. That being said, it's been pretty amazing to see how his knowledge and work has evolved over the years with building his business from the ground up and growing FITLETE's nexus to help other trainers. I'm so glad you got to know George a little bit better through this episode and to see how he works and his experiences in the industry. Check the show notes to see how to best connect with him, and that's all for this episode. If you want to learn more about FITLETE and possibly get your own episode, visit fitlete.com. That's FITLETE.com. Thanks so much and talk soon.